It's another music top 10. Best of 1969. Wow, I'm 15 years of age when these albums were released. I have to confess that at that particular time, I was listening to about half of them. The others followed shortly. Anyway, let's get started. At number 10, Santana. This was the debut release by Santana. Who can ever forget that cover? What a dramatic cover. And the album was well received, and it was a stomper. Carlos Santana on lead guitar, of course, and the Greg Rowley on keyboards. And the tracks that I recall, well, of course, the infamous Soul Sacrifice, which we've seen many times on video from Woodstock. Jingo, which was a high-flying percussion thrash, and then the absolutely delightful Oe Como Va. Well, on that note, let's move on to number 9. Number 9 was Led Zeppelin 2. They released another blockbuster after the huge success of Led Zeppelin 1. And of course on this album was their first and I think only single, Whole Lotta Love. Remember, Zeppelin weren't into singles, but that is one of the highlights, although I particularly like the Lemon song and What Should Ever Be. I can't remember that title so well now. Whatever should anyway, you know the one I mean. Also, of course, the infamous Communication Breakdown. At number 8, It's Free, the second album, and absolutely gorgeous songs on here. They'd become more refined. They ditched the long tracks and they become more rock pop. Delightful songs such as Trouble on Double Time, I'll Be Creeping, Woman, and they also recorded a song that had previously been a single, Broad Daylight, which I do love. At number 7, it's Legion Leaf by Fairport Convention. This is a beautiful set of songs. It really did highlight the beauty of their folk rock. The Deserter is a standout, as is Renadine, but my piece de resistance on here is Tamlin, with Sandy Denny sounding absolutely divine. At number 6, it's The Valentine Suite by Colosseum. Well, what can you say of Colosseum? They were just instrumentally the finest band around, and the whole of one side is devoted to the Valentine Suite, all 18 minutes of it. It's really worth a treat of a stuff. All the band gelling fantastically behind Heisman's pneumatic drums. Other songs to mention are The Kettle and Elegy. At number 5 is Crosby, Stills and Nash. This was the first supergroup. Crosby came from the Byrds, of course, Stills from Buffalo Springfield, and Graham Nash went over the pond from the Hollies to join the other two huge heavyweights. There's some beautiful stuff on here. They all contributed songs to the album. My highlights are Guinevere, which was a Crosby song, Marrakesh Express, delightful piece of pop from Nash, and the Sweet Judy Blue Eyes, which is probably the highlight of Stephen Stills' offering. I also liked Wooden Ships, which was an electric song that was borrowed by Jefferson Airplane, but I think this version with Steele's in command of the electric guitar is far superior. At number 4 is Let It Bleed by the Rolling Stones, a brilliant follow-up to Beggars Banquet. We've got Give Me Shelter, we've got Love in Vain, an old blues cover. You Can't Always Get What You Want, which is absolutely awesome. And I like Monkey Man. At 3, Hot Rats, Frank Zappa. This is the first Frank Zappa album that I fell in love with. And it was because there was no comedy on this. It was all pure instrumental class, apart from one track where Captain Beefheart sings his own particular style of vocal. That track's called Willie the Pimp. The rest of it is all instrumental. It really allows Zappa to show his guitar repertoire, and also awesome instrumentation by Underwood, Block and others. The first track, Peaches on Regalia, is a delightful free piece, jazz sort of rock impish sort of song, but definitely my favourite is Son of Mr. Green Jeans, when we fully become aware of the genius of Frank Zappa's guitar playing. At number 2, Jethro Tull, Stand Up. They went a number of notches up after the first album. Stand Up went to number 1 in America and in the UK. It's an absolute terrific listen. Nothing Is Easy. Bourrée, which of course is classically influenced, and my favourite, We Used to Know. So that leaves us with the number 1 album from 1969, and inevitably it was the Beatles with Abbey Road. This was by far their last recorded material, and they went out with a bang. The second side is absolutely awesome as it links together track by track. Golden Slumbers carry that weight at the end. Unbelievable stuff. And I do like the first side as well. Here Comes the Sun, Maxwell Silver's Hammer, I Want You, She's So Heavy. Tremendous. Okay, that's it then. 1969, best of.